Hey everyone, and welcome back to Esther NJ. We are now in the final quarter of 2023. How quick time has flown, I cannot believe it. I still remember the 1st of January, but it's a blessing that we've reached this milestone of 10 months into the year. Today's video, I want to talk about something that is very important, and I would say it's more important than ever right now, which is to stop thinking about what others perceive you as. The reasons why in life we can become so overwhelmed is because our focus isn't in the right place. We're either looking at what A has, what B is doing, what C has achieved, and subconsciously we compare ourselves to where they are relative to where we currently are. Not forgetting the fact that they may have had to pay a cost to get to where they are. Now, in seasons of transition and evolving and transformation, it takes a lot of inner work. We want to always look the part. And don't get me wrong, we're living in a world that is full of self. We're living in a world that is all about me. But when you think about it, you step back and you ask yourself, why am I actually here? You're here to serve, you're here to support, you're here to give back. But all these attributes should never stop you from worrying about what people perceive you as. It should never stop you from moving forwards into the destiny that the Lord has for you. When you think about your journey of life right now, and you ask yourself, why am I not further? Why am I not doing what A is doing or B is doing? You have to find out what has caused you to become discontent in the first place. A recent video that I recorded on YouTube is called The Consistent Cry Out. When you are in a season of uncertainty and you know that you see yourself doing more with your life, because let's be sincere, we all have a vision for our lives. If not all, then perhaps the majority of us. But we should have a vision for our lives. We should know to an extent where we are going. And I'm not saying that you need to have the full picture, because I don't have the full picture myself. But there's something that I know that this is definitely my purpose. This is definitely the calling that is over my life, and I must fulfill it well. But if I don't fulfill it well, it could be because I've been distracted by my external environments or my inner thoughts. And at times, when we are in changing seasons, when we don't see our way clear, we want just to accept anything that comes our way to feel good. But at the end of the day, is it really going to bring about the best in you? Are people really going to say that, you know what, I can see the truth, I can see the realness in this person? One of the things that I love about learning how to enjoy your own journey and your own season and not worrying about what people think about you is embracing the authentic you, embracing who you are, who you have been called to be, not trying to be like other people. Sometimes we may feel succumbed or even numbed because of how people feel around us, especially when we know we are owning who we are. Because at times, people can only see you in one dimension but not the other. Even though there is so much noise going on, yes, there are opinions and voices of what you should do, what dress you should buy, what colours you should provide, what vendors you should use. But ask yourself, are you listening to yourself? Why do you worry about what other people think? Am I living for God? Or am I living for people? Because if I was living for people, I would not be a bondservant of Christ. So when you think about that, you have to choose who you are going to keep your focus on. And I know in these last few months that we have in 2023, you don't have a choice but to make sure that you are always forward thinking. This is the reason why I wrote The Power of a Forward-Thinking Mindset in 2020, because this book touches so much about breaking those strongholds in the mind. And it's those mental strongholds, those emotional strongholds, the guilt strongholds, the embarrassing strongholds, all these things that make us question who we are. Because the moment you entertain any form of fear, ladies and gents, it can stay there for a very long time if you don't expose it. If you don't get to the root of the matter, it will not change. I'll give you a quick story. I went to the park with a dear friend quite a while back, and it was so lovely. We spent quality time together, talking about many things. Alongside our walk, I saw a tree. And when I tell you, the roots looked wow. The tree was so tall and the roots were so firm. And those roots reminded me of someone who is fully grounded in God, someone that is stable. That tree is not going anywhere. Why? Because the roots are strong. And when you look at the top of that tree, they've got other branches also. They're growing, they're evolving because it's rooted. And I want to encourage someone that is listening to this video. If you keep worrying about what other people say about you, you will be shaken. That tree is not shaken. Think about a palm tree. No matter how much wind blows against it, it can bend so low, but it will not break. And that's how we need to become in these last few months of 2023 and beyond. Don't break. No matter what comes your way, whether you lose your job, whether you lose a business deal, whether you lose a friend, don't break because of those temporary moments. Those moments are only there to strengthen you. And sometimes when I look back over my life, rather than me worrying about things not happening the way I wanted it to be, and sometimes even to an extent rejection, whether it be from job situations and deals and partnerships, I should have said to myself, you know what? This taught me that perhaps I was either aiming too low or I wasn't ready. But when I look back and I see how far I've come, I can say it was good. I got it when I did. So be encouraged that as you are journeying on this season of life, you have a forward-thinking mindset that will enable you to push through the barriers that life brings, and even the opinions of others, and also our environments. Social media, on the other hand, is another topic in itself that I don't even have the time to discuss, because I just want to tell you directly not to worry about what other people are thinking about you. And don't get me wrong, it is easier said than done. Of course, it is very important to have people that can speak well on your behalf, especially when you are not in the room, because your character speaks when you're not there. But it doesn't mean that you should worry about what other people are saying about you, especially when you know your heart is pure. There's a saying that goes, always the clean-hearted that wins. And I agree. Sometimes people that have a clean heart may be taken for granted, or people may take advantage of them. But either way, they will always get better. There's always something about people who know that they are low. They know how to pick up themselves quickly. And I want to encourage you that as you are in this life right now, you are on a journey of new beginnings. It doesn't matter how it looks right now, you are going to make it. When you stop believing those lies and stop entertaining those negative beliefs, you will start seeing your life going higher and higher. And just because your life isn't going as high as someone else, it doesn't mean that you're in the wrong place. So I encourage you again to stop looking at what other people are doing. You are a unique individual and you deserve your own time to shine, to grow, to evolve, to be the woman or the man that the Lord has called you to be. When you think about where you are right now in these last 10 months of 2023, what have you learned about not worrying about what people think about you? And I'm not saying that if you are a deliberate, horrible person, that you should take pride in that, because you shouldn't. You should always be humble to know that one day, this person that I might be putting down may be big tomorrow. And the people that have been overlooked will also have their time to shine. So this also teaches us how to be humble. How to be reminded that, yes, someone may not have it all right now, but it doesn't mean that in the future, they won't get back up again and do better. Many years ago, I went Saturday school, and the school teacher said, good, better, best. May I never rest until my good is better and my better best. Powerful words, which will always stay in my heart for life, because I know what it is to start from good, to get better, and to be the best, but in my own lane. You are not in competition with any human being. So when you look at what other people are doing, you're basically saying, God, why didn't you make me like A? Why didn't you make me like B? But can you do what A can do? Can you fulfill what B can fulfill? And this is why I love the parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25. because 3 men were given 3 sets of money. One was given 5, he doubled it to 10. One was given 2, he doubled it to 4. One was given 1, he hid it. Why? Fear, lack of research, unbelief. And then he looked at the other 2 and said, oh, but master, you've given more to them. I'm paraphrasing. And the master said, why couldn't you give me back my money? Because I could have put it in the bank and therefore it could have yielded interest. When you get something and you don't know how to utilize it well, it will not only be taken away from you, but you will not be trusted. And not being trusted is a very serious thing. Please, let's not take this lightly. Having a reputation of not being trusted is not great. So you have to be very mindful of what you take in. When you know who you are and you build upon your own self-development, you will start seeing the right people working with you, wanting to know you, because they can see that there's something in you that they can resonate with. Not trying to put on a front, not trying to make people like you, and not being afraid. I'm not saying that fear won't come. Hey, we're human. Fear can come anytime. But are you going to allow that fear to stop you being who you are? Are you? No. Yes, the world is going through so much. I can't even imagine how much. I can't even... There are no words to express what the season is right now. The things that we are hearing on the news day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. But we have a Father who sees everything and knows all. And that is where our rest and our trust should be. Not in worrying about what other people are doing. Fighting to be seen. Fighting to get your way through. For what? And then you will have to start again because you didn't humble yourself. And life will teach us this. Life will teach us that we don't always need to have it all together, but we need to utilize the season that we are in right now to become better than we was yesterday and not worry about what other people are doing. I'm going to read this quickly for you. I wrote this in my... I think in my 3rd book, From Glory to Glory. And I'm going to bring it up right now. And it's in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11. So it says here, and this is about living to please God. That's the subtitle. It says here, and to make it your ambition to lead a quiet life. Number 1, you should mind your own business. Number 2, and work with your hands. Number 3, just as we told you. So that your daily life may win the respect of outsiders. Number 4, and that you will not be dependent on anybody. Number 5. So the 5 attributes of living to please God is to lead a quiet life. Quietness is not equated to failure. Let's get that straight. If someone isn't posting because they are regular posters, or they're not showing up on social media as much, or they're not doing much content, don't think that something is wrong automatically. They probably could be enjoying their lives offline. That's one of them. Quietly. There's something about offline ministry that is so sweet. The second one is to mind your own business. In other words, mind your own affairs. If it doesn't involve you, humbly leave it alone. Because you don't want your name to be spread when you weren't even involved in the first place. Minding your own business saves you so much, especially your integrity and your character. And also work with your hands. What does that mean? To utilize the gifts, the skills and the talents that God has given you. If you're a singer, use it to the glory of His name. If you are a writer, write books. If you are a public speaker, speak in local community centres. Do something with your gifts so that it will make room for you. The 4th one is so that your life may win the respect of outsiders. And those outsiders make such a difference because it's those people that can see you from within rather than externally. Those people in your environments don't define you, but they do play a big role in your life. You could be in a season right now where you are looking for opportunities to grow your business or to grow your project or to gain grant funding. There are other people that will know of you and they will recommend you. Why? Because they've heard of you from others or they've seen you on social media. It's very important how you present yourself as well. So you want to win the respect of outsiders so that when you are out there, you won't need to define who you are or explain who you are or speak so much. Your silence will give it away. And lastly, it's also that you will not be dependent on anybody. Now, this is not to say that you don't need people. I'm not saying that you don't need anyone, because that is very impossible, especially if you're looking to go higher and further. But you must understand that being dependent on others when you are not making any effort in your life is detrimental and also known as laziness. I say this quite often, that people aren't going to work for 4 weeks and give you their salary. I don't personally know anyone who will give someone an entire salary and that person is not working. Maybe they can contribute, but I don't believe it's everything. And if you know anyone that gives everything, please let me know. And I really mean that. Because when you think about it, not being dependent on others shows that there's something that you can do with your own hands. And that's being able to live to please God well and not worry about what people think. When you worry about what people think, you start to do the most. And this season, ladies and gentlemen, is not about doing the most. It's about being yourself in the season that you're in. And it's about making sure that you are who you say you are. So let this video encourage you, especially not to think about what others are saying, but also to present yourself in a way that is pleasant so that they will not have anything to say. Because it's easy for someone to speak something that is not of you, and you might feel triggered. But when you know who you are, let them continue speaking, because you know that your identity is in the one that loves you and the one that knows you fully, not in what other people are telling you who you are. I want this video to remind you that you are in the right place and at the right time. And I want to encourage you, if you haven't got this book, The Power of a Forward-Thinking Mindset, I encourage you to get your copy on authenticworth.com or Amazon. I really want to inspire you to remember that your mindset is what activates the thoughts that life brings. If you want people to think about you in a way that is positive, this book is for you. If you want to improve your life, this is for you. If you want to break those strongholds of limiting beliefs and inconsistent emotional instability, this book is for you. The Power of a Forward-Thinking Mindset. If you break down the words, the power of a forward going ahead, thinking your thoughts, mindset. Everything starts from the mind. Without further ado, I want to thank you very much for listening to this video, and I'm really hoping that it has inspired you and has motivated you to be the woman and the man that you have been called to be for this season right now. Till next time, I'll see you in the upcoming video. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.